Today, we're going to be talking about how to focus, how to concentrate on what it is that you want. And once again, if you like this, as always, hit that subscribe button. I put out new videos every Tuesday and Thursday regarding your mind, because if you can master your mind, you can master everything else in the external world. And once again, any questions you have, put them down below as well. So when we're talking about focus, you have to think about concentration. And really what you have to ask yourself is, why is it so hard for us to focus modern day? And the reason why is because we have so many things, phones that are just taking our concentration away all the time. They're always going off, bling, bling, bling. We have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, all of these things, email, right? We have all of these things to distract us every single day. We walk outside and there's cars going, there's people talking, there's things that are always happening around us. And what you have to realize is the reason why it's so hard for us to focus is because we don't practice focus. We practice distraction. 18 hours a day, 16 hours a day, we are distracted. And whether we realize it or not, which most of us have never realized it, and I never realized it until recently, was that the reason why it's so hard to focus is because I'm not practicing focus. I am, blindly focusing or blindly practicing distraction. I wake up and I can go to my phone. Some people wake up, they go to the bathroom, and as they're brushing their teeth in the morning, they immediately hop on their phone. They get distracted, right? They go downstairs, they wait for the elevator. While they're waiting for the elevator and they're on the elevator, they look at their phone. They get to their car, they put on music to distract them. They put on something to distract them the entire time that they're in the car. Then what do? They get to a stoplight, they pull up their phone to distract them. Most people just can't sit quietly with themselves. They're practicing distraction 16 hours a day. They're not practicing focus. And so what you should ask yourself is, am I practicing distraction or am I practicing focus? It's something very important to think of. And what you'll start to notice is that throughout the day, you're constantly just trying to figure out a way to distract yourself. Lots of people have trouble with meditation and they're like, oh, that's just the way my brain works. No, it's not the way your brain works. The natural state of a human is very chill. The only difference is we've created technology to distract us as many hours as we can while we are awake. So if we're practicing distraction 16 hours a day, we're going to be really, really good at being distracted. If you practice basketball for the next 6 months, for 16 hours the entire day, every single day, in 6 months, you're going to be really good at basketball. Even if you've never picked up a basketball in your entire life, you're going to be good at it, right? So you have to think about that. Well, it's probably really hard for me to focus because I'm basically an expert. I have my PhD in distraction. And so you ask yourself that, well, okay, now that I know that, how do I practice focus? You practice focus by all of the things that you do on a regular basis, making it as easy as possible to bring your attention to it. So you ask yourself, what are things that I do every single day? So an easy example, maybe you make yourself breakfast every single day. Let's say you make yourself eggs every single day. Well, every single time that you make yourself eggs, like for instance, me, I used to listen to podcasts when I made eggs. I used to listen to YouTube and put on a motivational speech or something from somebody, listen to them talk and try to learn, or an audiobook. But that's just distracting myself. Sure, there's growth in there, but also if I'm practicing distraction all the time, I'm going to be distracted all the time. So why don't I take something that I do every single day, like making eggs, for instance, would be an example, and put my focus into it. Put my focus into doing it. I don't have to listen to music. I don't have to listen to an audiobook or do something or talk to someone. I need to sit there and actually just focus on making eggs. And even though it's boring, the reason why it's boring is because we're so used to distracting ourselves. Our brain is looking for distraction. So make it simple, something that you do every day. You don't have to do it to everything, just something that you do every day, like for instance, making breakfast, right? Or let's say you have a spouse or a significant other, right? How about every single time that you talk to them for the next 30 days, what you do is give them 100% of your focus, right? If you want a serious relationship with somebody, you should ask yourself, how much focus do I actually give them on a daily basis? When we're in a conversation, am I 100% there, or am I thinking about work? Am I on my phone? Am I looking at the TV? Am I looking at the computer? Or do I sit and turn and look them in the eyes and give them 100% of my focus? right? If you want to get better at focus, just practice focus. And you don't have to focus on everything in your life, but to make it easy, the first step, we always want to make it easy because people want to try to revamp their entire lives, but then it's too much for them to do and they don't do it at all. And so the question you need to ask yourself is, how can I make it easy? Okay, when I am speaking with my spouse for the next 30 days, I will give them 100% of my focus. And if I notice my focus starting to go somewhere else, I will pull it back and focus on them again. If I start to notice it goes somewhere else, I will pull it back and do that again. The way that you concentrate your mind and focus it is when it starts to go somewhere else, you pull it back and you put it in focus. And when it goes somewhere else, you pull it back and put it in focus. The example I always give is it's like a dog. You have a puppy and it starts peeing on the floor inside, you have to take it and put it outside. It pees on the floor, you take it and put it outside. It pees on the floor, you take it and put it outside. And after repetition over and over and over again, the puppy goes, oh, I pee outside, not inside. Well, after all this repetition, your brain goes, oh, I'm supposed to focus, not get distracted with everything that I do. So find one thing, just one thing that you do every single day, right? And bring focus to it. Stop being distracted. Stop being on your phone all the time. When you wake up in the morning, don't immediately go on your phone. Don't check your emails. Don't check your Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter. Why don't you make it a challenge for yourself? And what I like to do is keep my phone off as long as possible before I absolutely have to turn it on, because I keep it on airplane mode. I try to stay from it as long as possible because I notice that once I go to that phone, I can feel myself getting distracted. I can feel the pull of the addiction of having this mobile device and all of the notifications and all of the things that I could get into at any point in time. Some of us are so distracted that I know people listening to this cannot even poop without having their phone with them. They will go across the house to go get their phone, to go the other direction to go poop, because they cannot even sit quietly with themselves for 5 minutes. We are masters of distraction. Can you take your brain and start practicing focus? Start practicing these things. And what you'll start to notice is after 30 days, you're like, man, I'm getting really focused whenever I'm making breakfast. I'm really focused whenever I'm talking to my spouse. What can I do next? Where else can I put this practice in place? Right? Like I said, if you practice basketball, you've never played basketball your entire life, but you practice 16 hours a day for the next 6 weeks or the next 6 months, you're going to be really good at basketball in 6 months. You've been practicing distraction for 16 hours for 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, maybe your entire life. You're an expert at it. So how can we get you away from that and get you to the point where you start becoming focused? That's the simplest way to become focused, is to practice it. So if you like this video, go ahead and do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. It should be actually right here. Hit that subscribe button so that you never miss another video, because I put them out every Tuesday and Wednesday. Also, if you like this, hit that like button. If you have any questions, I like to answer questions. Put it down in the comments, type it down below. I'll try to answer questions when I get some time. And last but not least, if you're interested in learning other stuff, coaching, events, all of the things that I do, my website is linked down below. You can go ahead and check it out there. But I'm going to leave you the same way I leave you every single time. I appreciate you for being here, and I'll see you on the next video.